Mahatma Gandhi was one Indian leader who took up the struggle against British rule after the massacre at Amritsar. As a young man, he had had a successful career as a lawyer overseas. At the age of 42, he returned to India. He was shocked to discover how poor most Indian villages were, so he decided to devote his life to freeing them from poverty. He toured the country and gave lectures on the subject. He believed that people fighting for the poor should live and dress simply. He believed passionately that if something was unfair, you should fight to change it, but peacefully, without any violence. When he was 61, he started the most famous campaign of his life. It was all about salt. Salt is essential for flavoring food and for our health. Everyone needs to eat it. The government controlled who was allowed to produce salt in India, and they taxed it, which made it very expensive. But it's very cheap and easy to make. But it used to be illegal to gather and sell it. The British Governor-General of India received a letter from Gandhi asking him to change the salt law because it was unfair. The Governor-General refused. So Gandhi declared that he was going to break the salt law, but he didn't say exactly how. With 78 fellow protesters, he started marching from his home to a beach at a place called Dandi, 200 miles away. Gandhi walked slowly along the beach. Suddenly, he bent down and scooped up a handful of salt. Bravely, everyone followed his example and began gathering sea salt and putting it in buckets. British troops moved in, and many of these peaceful protesters were arrested. Gandhi was sent to jail the next day. But the salt protesters didn't give up. All over India, people went on gathering salt. There was no violence by the protesters, but the government couldn't control the situation because of the sheer numbers involved. They couldn't arrest everyone. The government had no alternative. The salt law was changed. The success of the salt protests made British politicians realize they had to move more quickly towards letting the Indians rule themselves.